Hello everybody, setting up the camera. It's been a long time since we did one of these. It is time for some treadmill chat. Hopefully you can hear me. I've got this crazy setup with like remote controls, balancing the camera where I think it'll actually get me in frame. You know, we'll see. So what did I want to talk about today? Well, it's New Year's Day, so of course we have lots and lots of New Year's resolutions. Now, I'm just going to put some caveats out there first. I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions. I don't think they usually work. I think they're very ambitious, and they're a great thing to do. But most of the time they just fail. And I don't make them. I'm generally pretty bad at making goals, period. I mean, I'm really good at like finding like a path or a, some endeavor. Once I find one, I'm very good at staying on track. But making them, not so much. But anyway, so why should you listen to me? Well, you shouldn't. But I figured I would have some talking points, some ideas. Maybe it'll spark something in you guys. Maybe you'll want to look more into whatever I'm talking about. That's what it's all about, right? So, yeah. So, New Year's resolutions. Here's the number one thing I don't like about them is they tend to be really general and not really well thought out. Basically, the idea that I've come to think of is if you make a goal without a plan, a good plan to achieve that goal, it's just a wish. And wishing doesn't get you anywhere. So that is my general thought on most New Year's resolutions. So, and I think that's why they ultimately fail, because people have, great ideas, really noble goals to achieve, but they don't really think it out. How am I going to do that? What are the daily, weekly, monthly changes that I'm going to make in my life to make this possible? Like take something like, a common goal is I want to get to the gym more. I want to go 4 times a week. Okay, well, how are you going to manage that? You've got to put that into play. Does that mean you're going to wake up an hour early all those days so you can get into the gym? Does that mean you're going to have to get like a babysitter for your kids? Whatever it is, you have to really think it through and put those into place. Because otherwise you're just giving yourself like an excuse to not go. And that's the other thing too. Making a goal like I want to go to the gym more often is just an empty goal. It's an empty promise to yourself, because if you're the vast majority of people, you don't want to go to the gym. Okay? So if you're missing 1 or 2 sessions of going to the gym a week, you're not, you might feel guilt, but you're not really heartbroken over it, right? Because you don't really want to go anyway. So instead of making a goal like, I want to go to the gym and put, 5 hours a week in the gym, you don't want to spend time in the gym, so why would you ever make that a goal? Instead, make a goal like you want to progress. You want to, right now, let's say you can only run for 10 minutes. Well, if you want to run for 30 minutes, some kind of progression-based goal is going to be a lot better than a time-based goal, because then when it comes to that day where you don't really want to go to the gym, you're not going to be just missing time in the gym, because who cares about that? You're going to be messing up your progression. which means all the work that you put in beforehand is going to be devalued if you miss that time in the gym. You know, I always tell people, if you want to progress, if you want to be consistent, you have to go to the gym, you know, every other day. Maybe like if you're going once every 3 days, the best you can hope with that is to maintain where you're at. Unless you're like just starting out, of course. In which case, you know, you'll probably get some endurance or cardiovascular benefit from even going every 3 days. But if you want to like progress in, you know, speed, endurance, strength, increase your muscle mass, lose your fat, you need to go every other day. You know, and that way, in that frequency, you can build on the progress that you've already made. So those are the kind of goals that are probably better to make, I think. Also, something else like, I want to eat healthier. Great goal. Okay, but what are you going to do? You know, what things are you going to cut out of your diet? You know, are you going to have to talk to your family to get them on board to you know, exclude some things from the household to make that happen, at least in the short term? Eat more healthy. You know, maybe you have to commit to yourself, instead of saying, I want to eat more healthy, is like, I want to learn one new healthy recipe for every week. I mean, that's something that will achieve your goal, but it's more of a plan to do that. So that's the kind of things. I actually took some notes here, so let me see what I'm missing. Yeah, so same thing with, I want to drink more water. Okay, well, how are you going to do that? What changes are you going to make? Tracking it? Okay, well, that's helpful, but if you're tracking it and you're still not making your goals, it's not really doing anything for you. You know, if you instead of saying, I want to drink more water, you want to say, okay, well, first thing in the morning, you know, I'm going to start every day with drinking a bottle of water. You know, all of a sudden, you know, if that wasn't already your habit, which it should be, by the way, all of a sudden, you're drinking 16 more ounces of water a day. You know, also say like, okay, well, when I'm on break at work, another bottle of water. You know, I mean, put the practice in there. Yeah. What else? Also, another excuse people have for like not doing a fitness type goal is that they don't have time for it. And we all know it's not true. You know, there are things in life that we do that we need to do, and there's things that we want to do. You know, some people say, I don't have time to go to the gym, but yet somehow they can spend 2 hours a day on, you know, Facebook and YouTube, which is great. I mean, I'm not going to discourage people from doing that, but, you know, you have time. You know, if you're watching TV at night, you have time. It's just you need to readjust your priorities. So, make a goal, make a plan to get that goal, remove the obstacles in your way, and then you can make some progress. I think that's what you want to do. You know, and also managing time, for example. You can do a lot of things at the same time. Like when I started out, I was doing mostly treadmill stuff. And I spent a lot of time watching YouTube and whatnot, so you can do those two things at the same time. There's no reason why you can't. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that I really want to see people think about when they're making these goals. Now, fitness recommendations. This is another one that kind of bothers me. You know, like I mentioned before, a lot of people say, I want to get to the gym 5 days a week. Now, if you're just doing cardio, like walking on the treadmill, and you're not just starting out, let's say you've already, you've already lost a lot of your weight, maybe you're down to the last 40, 50 pounds or less that you want to lose. Doing 5 sessions of cardio a week isn't really going to help. From what I've read, and you can do your own research on this, of course, is if you're doing basically, moderate to high intensity cardio, beyond 2 to 3 hours a week, you're not going to get any benefit from that. It's not going to help your endurance. It's definitely not going to help your muscle development. I mean, there's a limit to what you can do of a singular activity where you'll see return from it. There's a point of diminishing return. Like after that 2 hours a week, you might be burning some calories while you're doing it, but you're not progressing. You're not, like, we're going back to progression here. It's not helping you out in the long term. So, I'm not saying by any means that you should limit your activity to, 2 hours a week. No, you should really just, what you should do is be a little more broad with your application. And that is, okay, well maybe you're going to do those 2 hours of cardio, but you're going to sign up for once a week doing a yoga class to get some stretching in. You're going to do 2 sessions of weightlifting. Now, weightlifting is cardio as well. Particularly if you do a little bit of cardio at the beginning, 10, 15 minutes to get your heart rate up, and then you do kind of circuit training type stuff where your breaks are not as long, or you alternate between like upper body, lower body, or front back kind of thing. So, there's a point of diminishing return. So once you have your plan, you really have to evaluate, is this a good plan? Is putting more time in the gym, doing cardio, going to help me meet my goal? And the answer is probably not. So make the goal, make the plan, evaluate that plan if it's going to meet your objective. A lot of people just go into it blindly, and what happens is they'll put in that 5, 6, 7 hours a week in the gym for a month or two, and they're like, gee, this increased effort that I put in isn't doing me any good, so I'm just going to stop, or I'm going to cut back again. And that's because it was a crappy goal to make. So, yeah. Let's see on my notes here. So what do I recommend in terms of fitness for people? Well, I'll divide up into 2 sort of categories. Someone who is still, excuse me, morbidly obese, maybe early in their journey, or they had a lot of weight to lose, they have, 50 plus pounds to go, is you probably should do cardio 3 days a week, 30 minutes to 45 minutes each time, a long session of 30 to 45 minutes, that's a long session, and on alternating days, you should do something else. Do your weightlifting, do your body weight exercises, do your yoga, do something else, something that stimulates your body in a different way than the cardio. Now I recommend is you do 3 days of work, 3 days a week, cardio. Alternating days you do strength training in the gym, and since you're alternating days, those days should probably be full body workouts where you do your arms, chest, back, legs, everything, and then the next day, you know, you're back on the cardio. So, or you can modify it, like let's say you're going 3 times a week to the gym, but maybe you're going Wednesday and then 2 days on the weekend in a row. Well, then Wednesday should be a full body day, and Saturday and Sunday maybe you should do like upper body on Saturday, lower body on Sunday, so that you have, you know, you're not overtaxing that particular muscle group, but you're still working it to progress. For someone who is a lot closer to their goal, they should be doing a lot less cardio. Cardio should be your warm-up and your post-workout, not the entirety of your workout. Because again, you don't want to just lose weight, you want to restore your metabolism. And the way you do that is by, yeah, your cardiovascular system, of course, huge benefits to improving that, but you want the muscle mass. You want to build muscle, and you want to, you know, keep your circulation and everything going well. So, for someone who is closer to that, I recommend at least doing 4 days a week in the gym. 5 would be ideal. And to split it up, you know, doing like some kind of a split, like upper body, lower body, rest day. Or, you know, back and bicep, chest and tri, legs, rest day. Some kind of a split like that, where you're giving yourself each sort of muscle group that you've overtaxed, that you've stressed, at least 24 to 48 hours of rest time in between. So that's what I recommend. So yeah, goals are great, but make the plan to get them done, and make changes in your life to accommodate those goals. I think that's really important, and I think that's how you're going to be successful. You're not going to be successful in making lofty goals and not having a solid plan to accomplish them. You're just going to end up getting discouraged, distracted, sidelined. Something else is going to come up that you feel is going to stop you from doing it. So put the plan into place first, then do the activity, then achieve your goal. So again, these are just like little ideas that I had that I wanted to share with you guys. And again, I'm not a genius at this. I do pretty well in the fitness and losing weight, muscle gain kind of things, but I mean, the rest of my life is pretty much in shambles, right? I mean, I'm not working, my health is still not great, socially really bad, romantically horrible, so it's not like I am like an ultimate source for goal setting. But these are some ideas that I thought of, so I thought I would share with you, and that's what I've done. And I'm going to stop talking. It's really hard to talk with the cold and exercise. I hope you really appreciate that. So, anyway, happy 2015. I hope you all had a fun night last night, and I hope you get out there and get your fitness in, and be strong, guys. Bye.